Terraria has a lot of really great bosses, and then they have whatever this is. Mini-bosses are not quite bosses, but they're not just beefy enemies, and their classification is stupid. For example, in the official wiki, Dreadnoughtless isn't a mini-boss. For this video, this will be the only enemy I'm adding to the mini-boss list, because it should be, and Red has claimed it to be a mini-boss before. So yeah, we're gonna rank these mostly mediocre mini-bosses. This is one of the few mini-bosses that I can say I usually hate. I will more often be actively not having any ounce of fun than enjoying myself with this pillar due to the horrific selection of enemies. This pillar has everything that sucks. Teleporting enemies, now flying, homing projectiles that take way too long to dissipate, fast spreads of Fast spreads of projectiles from off screen, and then these guys, who I don't think have actually hit anyone since their inception. It's just not really bad. It's fun. It's not fun. Originally, this spot was for the Stardust pillar, but at least the Stardust pillar has no substance. This pillar's substance is, I'm still not sure. I really like the visual of this pillar. Way better than the Stardust, maybe. But I think the Vortex pillar has a pretty big issue with just feeling kind of weird. Like, you lose control of your character sometimes. These vortexes are kind of weird until you learn them. And if you've tried to go underground to cheese this event, you would know they kind of work really weird. It doesn't feel right putting this pillar lower than Stardust, and Stardust is literally nothing, but alas, I kind of hate this pillar sometimes. This spot was originally for Santa NK1, but the Stardust pillar sucks. Not because it's janky. Well, it is janky, but no one would know that because we all use Stardust cell cheese. This pillar has the worst, most boring enemies. The only reason it beats out the others is because it doesn't ever suck to defeat. I think I'll keep it short for this one. Taking a break from the pillars for this beast, I like the idea, and I want to like Santa NK1, but I don't. I kinda slightly really dislike him. Something about his appearance just feels weird to me. I don't know what, I just don't like it. All of his attacks are kinda problematic as well, and I'm not a massive fan of just massive amounts of hard to see bullets. He just shoots from off screen so often, it feels weird. You'll just be running on the ground when you randomly explode because one of his spike balls was underneath a bunch of gore. The presents are pretty cool though. I think this attack actually works with the rest of the event. He's alright, just something feels off. It's boring. I find it weird how the Dark Mage has more depth than this guy. He just walks forward slowly and only really attacks if you get close, which of course you don't have to do. He does have that spitball attack with the really bad hitbox, but besides that, not much to talk about with this guy. Overall, the Flying Dutchman is pretty lame. I find him to be a pretty iconic mini-boss, but come to think of it, I don't really have any actual good memories of the Dutchman. Especially in recent years, this guy's kind of fallen off. He had a pretty good run in early 1.4, but he seriously has nothing going for him anymore. He's boring, boasting a set of cannons. They're boring. He also drops pirates, but I'm not sure anybody really engages in any of this already lackluster crap because he's just a big cheese magnet. You can cheese him with any weapon with a projectile pretty easily, and since he's a mini-boss, no one cares. As mentioned before, while not making it too much further, the Dark Mage just has a bit more depth than the Ogre. I think he plays this role in the event pretty well, having a healing spell, necromancy spell, and a simple projectile. He's a good final fight to make the final wave more interesting in tier 1 and a good support in the other tiers. He's still just alright though. Pretty simple and mostly uninteresting on his own. I don't find Betsy to be all too interesting. They have a charge, and a charge with fire, and a charge that drops fire. All the attacks feel pretty samey. There's a couple exceptions like the dash in a circle and the super cool enemies spawning attack. We all love enemies spawning attacks. Ethereal Wyverns are among my least favorite enemies in the game, so please, the less of these, the better. Design-wise, they're alright, even if it's not a Terraria original design, but I'm not too bothered by it. Betsy also has some pretty nice weapons, though drops are playing minimal role in these rankings. Well, I don't really like the Ice Queen design-wise at all. I don't know what's up with the face diaper. I think it's pretty stupid looking. They also just have this weird way of moving and like, I don't know. When we actually get to the attacks though, she's one of the more interesting and in-depth. She has the waves, which can be decently challenging sometimes. I also really like the spin attack. It's a pretty simple bullet hell, but I like it. The one thing I could definitely do without is the shard thing. It really slows down the fight. I don't know why she's so slow while doing this, but overall I enjoyed the Ice Queen. Barely beating out the Ice Queen, having a better design, I think, personally. We all hate Pumpkin, but we love Pumpkin. Pumpkin destroys the entire event. The event just becomes Pumpkin. He's terrible. He doesn't add to the event, he takes it over. Ice Queen does too, but Pumpkin does it worse. I hate him, but we all love him. He's better than Ice Queen. I actually don't really know how controversial this is, but the solar pillar is the best pillar. I know, obviously, the jokes, it's the most memed pillar, it's the most infamous pillar, but like, it's the best, right? We all hate Crawltipedes as a meme, right? It has the best aesthetic and enemy designs, and it just has the best enemy variety. All of the enemies have actually interesting attacks and abilities. The solar pillar just really leans into its gimmicks. I like that. It has an enemy that subtly incentivizes you to stay on the ground, enemies that reflect projectiles, riding enemies, actually good homing projectiles, along with the strollers and Corites heavily benefiting from the player's limited movement, with the Corites dashing when above the player and you actually being forced to engage with the strollers due to not being able to just fly away. No, it did not get bonus points for the name. It's good though. I think Morningwood is actually really good. Instead of taking you out of it, Morningwood actually contributes. I feel like Pumpkin from the same event kind of takes over the event like I alluded to, like not very subtly. Morningwood just adds to the already existing chaos. Morningwood always arrives when it's least convenient. Without Morningwood, the beginning waves would just be so immensely lame. He kind of just defines the event for me. Just so we're clear though, I don't think every event boss should be like this. I just happen to like the approach for the 2 tree mini bosses specifically. Morningwood might not be too hard, but boy, he has an impact. Ha. Everscream is essentially the same enjoyment level as Morningwood for the same reasons, but I just think he looks cooler. Everscream has one of the coldest designs in the game, absolutely sick. He's got a bit more going on attack-wise too, with Morningwood just spamming the same 2 attacks, but Everscream spams the same 2 attacks instead. Incredibly underrated. Dreadnoughtus kind of flips the formula on its head. He isn't tied to an invasion like the other event bosses, nor is he part of a group of similar entities. He's his own thing. There were other Blood Moon fishing enemies, but he's obviously supposed to be the only mini-boss status one. Probably because he was going to be an even bigger deal. I really like the summoning method for this guy. I really like his design. I really like his attacks. The only thing he's lacking in is drops, because he was downgraded. I do really wish they'd flush him out completely, even past mini-boss status. Besides that though, he's a stellar mini-boss, even with the terrible enemy spawning attack. I think the Martian Madness as a whole is pretty solid, and the Martian Saucer helps a lot in that. The Saucer is definitely one of the most fleshed out mini-bosses in the game. Not only does he have a good array of attacks in his first phase, but it has a second phase. Yeah, Santa gets his face torn off, but this is a proper second phase. Yeah, it just spams 1 attack in the second phase, but I like it. It's like a long desperation phase. I know it kind of steals the show, taking you away from the rest of the event, but to me, I think that takes away less from the fight because it feels like an actual proper full fight and isn't just a wave style event, but a typical invasion event. I think that just feels better because you'd expect a wave style event to have all the enemies work together like the Old One's army, but in a typical invasion fashion, it's just mindless enemy spam, so I actually don't really mind being taken out of it for a proper fight. So yeah, those are the mini bosses. They're good. I like them. Even the worst one has some redeeming qualities about it. They all do their job. Some are better than others, but remove any of them from their respective events and they would feel a bit lacking. Good stuff, me likey, go outside.